Hi guys! Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our next unit, which is going to be earrings. So I think the best way to start this is to break down the anatomy of an earring. And I know that sounds a little bit funny, like anatomy, earrings don't have body parts. That's correct. But they do have multiple different parts that you combine to create a whole earring. And often this is where students get confused. They don't understand how these pieces and parts interact. So I'm going to kind of explain it to you now. We're going to focus mainly on making like dangly earrings compared to stud earrings. So when we're making like a dangly earring, there are many parts. There are the ear wires. That is the part of the earring that actually goes through the piercing. And then there's what's called the head pin. That is the part of the earring that the bead rests on or is attached to. Sometimes there's a decorative element called a bead cap. The bead cap is a small, sometimes metal piece that is purely for decoration, and it goes on top of the bead. And then occasionally, but not always, you'll see what's called a jump ring. And the jump ring is the part that sometimes it just adds a little extension between the ear wire and the head pin. Okay, so those are our different anatomy pieces of earrings. Now in class, you're going to have some different options for how you make your earrings. Obviously, you all have a variety of different beads. You can use a single bead like this, or you could use multiple beads in your earrings like this. I have included some pre-made ear wires, so that way you're totally welcome to use those. But if you want something that's more unique and has more style, what I recommend you do is actually create your own ear wires from scratch. So some different options that I have tutorials for are French ear wires, circle post ear wires, kidney ear wires, spiral post ear wires, tumbleweed ear wires, and then my favorite, because they're kind of so different, is the fiddlehead ear wires. Now, I don't know, sometimes in class students are like, why would I ever make my own ear wires when you can just buy like 100 of them for like $5 at the craft store? They don't sell these special ones at the craft store. Pretty much at the craft store, what you're going to see is just basic French ear wires. You don't really get any of the stylized options. So when you make your own, there's a lot more opportunity to personalize. And also you have like total ability to customize the metal. So people can use like copper or brass. I know in class, for this like at-home learning, you will just have nickel silver to use. You want to use a thick gauge wire when you're making ear wires because it's being slipped in and out of a piercing, so it needs to be kind of sturdy, you know what I mean? You don't want it to get bent when you put it in and out of your ear. But in class in the spring, if we're together, we'll see if we can get you access to some different kinds of wire like brass and copper. For now, we'll use nickel silver, and you can customize the shape as much as you want. All right, if you do choose to make your own ear wires, they need to be fairly professional looking in appearance. You want people to understand that they are ear wires and that they're meant to go through a piercing. On occasion, I will get some very odd submissions where it becomes clear to me that maybe a student hasn't looked at any of the reference tutorials, and I'll get things kind of like this, and it just doesn't show a good understanding of technique. So I'll always provide you tutorials that'll show you the basics, and if you want to customize slightly from there, you can, but I don't recommend inventing your own ear wires at this point, because they often will resemble like a bent out of shape paperclip. So I do expect a very professional appearance when it comes to earrings, because you want people to understand that it's meant to be an earring, and people should be feeling safe whenever you're putting something in a piercing. So we don't want it to look like it's simply a bent out of shape paperclip. That wouldn't be quite so good. Just for clarity, I thought I would throw in this quick video to show you how the pieces fit together in earrings. I didn't have any pre-made head pins, so what I'm using is a head pin that I made. If you don't have, or you run out of head pins, you just bend a small loop at the bottom of a piece of wire and then slip a bead on. On top of that, you make a little loop that gives you a place to connect the loop into the actual ear wire itself. So I'm just wire wrapping it to give it a little bit of style, but also it makes a sturdier finish. Clipping off the excess. Then with my pre-made ear wire, I'm going to open up the loop that's on the bottom of the earring ear wire. You just want to kind of open it gently because you're not trying to distort the little loop at the bottom. Just open it enough so that you can slip your beaded head pin inside, and then that's it. That's how you make an earring.